everyone having a wonderful Sunday. Today I have another amazing Zoom interview with my friend Emily, and Emily, my friend Weir. And yeah, so I hope you enjoy. After you're done watching this interview with her, please hit the link in my description to go watch my interview with her channel. And if you're new here, please subscribe, like this video, comment, share, do what you gotta do. I would love it. Hey, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Emily, and Anna and I have known each other for quite some time. And if you guys have stuck around for a while, you guys have known that we've done collab videos like every month or so. And this month, we decided to do an interview because Anna is known for her legendary interviews, and I have never been interviewed by Anna, but we decided to make it a little different, and I'm gonna interview her as well. So let's get into it.
All right. So my first question is, I know you have cerebral palsy. Can you explain how you were naming my discussion by it?
Absolutely. I have spastic diplegia, cerebral palsy, so that means my legs are mostly affected by it. That's not to say that my arms aren't at all, because I do have a dominant side and a weaker side. But my daily life, I use a wheelchair primarily to get around, and a walker sometimes, depending on the situation. Or sometimes I'll even use like a caregiver support just to walk me, just depending on the situation. And I need a lot of help with a lot of things, like making my coffee this morning. I needed help carry it over to the table so I wouldn't spill it on myself. I don't know, there's a lot of things that I can do independently, but there's a lot of things that I need help with. And when I was sitting down thinking about this question, I was like, wow, CP really does impact literally every single aspect of my life.
Yeah. Oh, hi.
No problem.
Hi, my yeah. Hey, I have had a provider with me all my men, but I also, like Emily, have a dominant side. I think we all do to some extent. And also, it does really depend on the situation, how you've been around, and how you do your daily life. Like sometimes I primarily use my walker all the time, but sometimes I use a wheelchair for long distance, and other times I will have somebody walk me, or like, sometimes I'll even do it on my hands and knees and pull to the place I need to go. Because,
right.
Yeah, because it all has to do with accessibility and how much time you have. Because I think all life is not that we can't do something without help. It's more like we don't have enough time to wait for us to do that.
Yeah, exactly. You made a great point. Like I can do a lot of things independently. It would just take me 75 years, and
Right.
to live a life, I don't have 75 years just to do one thing, so that's, yeah. Okay, so what do you got next?
And then my next question is, can you explain your cerebral palsy diagnosis, Mooney? And yep, that's it. Yep. Yeah.
Well, I was diagnosed, I believe, around 2 years old, officially, but I was born at 24 weeks, and I spent the rest of that time that I was supposed to be in my mom's stomach in the NICU. So I was in the NICU for quite a while. I only weighed 1 pound and 10 ounces. So I had quite a lot of growing to do and quite a lot of developing to do and stuff. And then just like the early years were faced with a lot of therapy and surgery, some surgeries. Knock on wood, I've been pretty lucky to have only a few surgeries, whereas some people I know have had multiple. But again, everyone's case is different. Like, you may look at, Anna and I and say we're pretty similar, but, that doesn't mean that the person down the street is the same. You know what I mean? Right. So it's very different. And then just like where I am today, just kind of maintaining what I have, and being able to maintain the mobility and get more and independence. And I'm always working towards more independence. But yeah, definitely those early years were filled with a lot of therapy and a lot of just stuff, because the earlier you get interventions and treatments and stuff, the better quality of life you have.
Definitely, because it's the same thing for me. My only year was filled with my eye operation and surgery and back operation and hip operation, and then on top of all that, physical therapy, speech therapy, and occupational therapy. But as you get older, you kind of focus on maintaining everything you have.
Absolutely, 100%. Yep.
Yep. And then, as a young adult, what is the biggest challenge you face with cerebral palsy?
Oh, this one. I've been excited to answer this one. I think the biggest challenge that I face is the desire to have independence, but not being able to do things enough on my own in order to be independent. If you guys didn't know, I'm 24. I'll be 24 by the time this airs. This airs the day after my birthday, so happy birthday to me. So I'm 24, and most of my peers, or the people I went to high school with are graduated, and they have jobs, and some of them even have families, and some of them are married, and some of them have their own houses, and some of them have apartments and stuff. And it's that desire of me wanting to be independent. Like, I go to Target or Marshall's and I look at the home decor section, and I'm like, oh my God, this would be so cool if I had my own place. Like, not to say that my parents wouldn't let me redecorate a little bit, but it's not my own space, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I can't be independent in an apartment. I would need someone a lot of the time, so it's better for me just to stay home a little while longer, whether someday I get to live on my own, or I have a significant other, or I could get married, or I don't know what the future holds. And that's the other thing. I think the unknown of the future. So there's no playbook on how to get older, right? So it's okay, when do you stop relying on your parents for care, and when do you hire caregivers, and when do you move out on your own, but you're craving that independence, so how do you do that, you know what I mean? So that's the hardest part as I'm getting older, is craving the independence.
Definitely, I agree, because believe it or not, I started that in my high for a year because I noticed that I wanted to go to a high school dance or a football game, a high school football game, and I would go with my parents, but no one would speak to me. But when I went with my brother, who is 27, or he might be 28, don't really know how I met. Everyone talked to me, everyone. I have to deal with who you're with. And then I often think to myself, my life was a little bit different, and I wish it didn't.
Yeah, and then like you can't get in that space because like, you know, our lives are different and this is the way that we've known. And like, you know, I try to, you know, we all have those bad days, but I try to not let myself go there because the reality is I don't know what I'm missing out on. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, I can imagine, but like my life, my life, and I don't know where I would be if I wasn't if I wasn't in this body right now. I don't know what my life would be. So I try not to let myself go there, and I try to just, I don't even want to say deal because that's not even the word I'm looking for, but I try to just make the best of what I have now,
right.
And then just move on, you know?
Right. And then also like I think if I wasn't disabled, number one, I wouldn't meet the compassionate people I met. And then also I wouldn't be part of this amazing internet community either.
Right.
Yeah. I can't imagine life without it. If you had an opportunity to speak to society about your CP, what would you like people to know?
Honestly, I would just like them to know that we are just like any other person. And that just because we have limitations and we need to do things in a different way doesn't mean that we are less valuable than other people, and that we deserve the same rights and opportunity as everyone else, whether that be, you know, to find love or to find employment or to find, you know, schooling opportunities or to find, you know, a job, I already said, but or to just be accessible. There's so many places that aren't accessible, and it's horrible. Or, you know, even like representation on TV or movies or ad campaigns or whatever. Do you know that I didn't see a disabled person in an ad until I joined the Instagram community, and I found like some other disabled influencers or, you know, creators or whatever, and some little girl had an ad with Target, and that is the first time that I saw someone with a disability in like a print ad.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I was walking around Target. I'm always walking around Target.
We love Target.
Yeah, and I was looking up about the woman section, you know, and I saw an ad with a disabled woman with arm testing, and I've never seen that before.
Right.
So then, and that was the only ad in that one with disability representation.
Right. And I think that we're getting somewhere because social media is a powerful tool, but there still needs more work to be done.
Right. Let's see. What is your biggest piece of advice for new have a party royal.
Do you mean like
Yes,
like parents, or do you mean like their parents, or do you mean like, school age children? Okay. So school age children, honestly, like, I'm not gonna lie, my school experience was rough. I definitely had a lot of times where I was sitting at the lunch table alone, starting at like 5 years old. But if you talk to any of my teachers or my friends, I was always very kind and welcoming. So it's not like, it's not like I wasn't kind or whatever, but I just don't think that people know how to act around a chair or just someone who's different than them in general. But that's where I think that the education needs to start, is that like exactly what I said, like we're just the same as everyone else.
Right, definitely. Because
and my hope is that, by the time, the next generation of kids have to go to school, like there won't be any like isolation, or people won't be afraid to go talk to the kid in the wheelchair or the walker or the crutches or whatever, or the kid with the service dog, or the whatever. Because there's children's books out now. There's so many things that I wish that I had when I was younger. So my hope and my prayer for the next generation is that they won't feel what I felt.
Right. And like Emily, I had the worst high school experience ever. It didn't really start until high school, but when it did, it hit hard. And I have a whole video on that, but people did not, they would talk to me at school and then completely ignore me when other people were around or when I'm at home.
Oh my God, you and I are twins, because I had that same thing happen. Like we would talk while we were at school, but on the weekend, and then you remember when like in like 7th grade, when everyone got phones and we started texting?
Yep.
And nobody would text me on the weekend.
Yep.
And it was
and
it was heartbreaking, but it was like hilarious at the same time, because then Monday would roll around, and then we're filming this on a Monday right now, so Monday would roll around and they would act like nothing happened.
Yeah, and it was really weird because some people even like would text me like, "Hey, do you want to hang out?" and then they go on me last minute.
Mhm.
And I would be like, "Would they nice to me and make some plan they didn't have?" And then I'd see them hanging out with other people on social media.
Right.
Oh my God, that drove me insane. But I finally have my people, so that's good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then my back, I know you're social media and with me. Do you wanna explain your journey?
Well, I'm in the making. I'm very tiny right now. But just my goal for my channel, my Instagram, whatever, is that, like, yeah, going viral would be awesome or whatever, but honestly, just everyday awareness. Like, I know that Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month just passed, and like, some people might disagree with me on this, but like I'm not one that like goes all out and like, whatever. Like I used to be like that. If you asked me like 2 or 3 years ago, I used to be like that, who would be like, oh, I'll make a post like every day, I'll be seen or whatever. But then I realized, I'm like, but what about the other 12 months of the, what about the other 11 months? Like, I still deal with this every single day.
Yeah.
So my goal is everyday awareness, and then to just live my life, because again, we're just like everyone else. Like, I have the same hopes and dreams as every other 24-year-old girl or woman or whatever. I have the same goals and hopes and whatever. Mine just may take a little while to get there, but just to be me. And if people like me and want to follow me, great. But if they don't, then that's fine too.
Right, I agree with that. So, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you, Emily, for being on my channel.
Thank you again for having me.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Make sure you go follow her to watch my interview, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.
Bye.